Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Today we will check out the OP05 leader Enel. Again, he's one of my favorite leaders, so I quite enjoy playing him lately, and also yellow in general, probably one of my favorite colors. Yeah, so I thought why not checking him out again, especially because in the last video I got some comments about the new 4-cost Kusan and also about the 3-cost Derishi. So I thought like why not try to use them in the like in the new deck list. And I also found it's like a little bit older deck list. It's from One Piece Top Decks from OP10 from the Japan. I think from Japan. Yeah, here from the Japan Tokyo tournament. But anyways, it's like a newer and modern deck list. So I thought like why not trying at least to test them out. Of course, these two cards we cannot play because they are from OP10. But most of the other cards are, yeah, still available. Lucci, for example, is like a new card, which was usually not played in NL. And yeah, as I said, also the Derishi. And I try to, yeah, incorporate the Kuzan as well. And yeah, so this is like the deck list we will play today with. And yeah, so like a lot of bricks probably, like a lot of zero counter cards. But anyways, let's see how the gameplay worked out. The first one is from or against Ace. Let's check out the speed already at 1.5, nice. And yeah, we chose to go second. I thought like why not starting with a more easier leader, I would say. Like of course Ace is not trash, but definitely a playable leader, but definitely also not a meta leader. So that's why I thought like why not starting a little easier the first gameplay. Yeah, we have kind of like the clocked hand. It's a little sad because we don't even have a lot of starter. Oh, we got a soul focus trigger, or at least like getting the soul focus trigger, and we need to trash a card. Kind of crazy. And a little sad for the Raigo because it could have KO'd the Sanji. Sanji kind of interesting card. I didn't saw it so often before. Okay, he's just attacking us. I don't know why. I also have to say, like in advance, that the Ace leader is maybe not the most experienced player. At least it feels like this. But on the other hand, also we are doing some, or at least I'm doing some mistakes as well. So it was, I think, for the first game, it was kind of fine. He's playing the, I think it's a promo card, Podcast the Ace. I think it's the same promo edition where the 5-cost Sabo is from, which a lot of people wishes to get here as well. But I still don't know when we will get the promo cards. I think it's kind of surprising that Japan is getting so many promo cards. And here we have to wait sometimes months, or like sometimes don't even know when to get the cards, which is kind of crazy. Two Shirahoshi is always nice. We already are at 1 life. Yeah, he lost his ace. I don't know why he didn't play out any cards. Like why pushing it in life when you lose it at the end of the turn anyways. He just straight up lost a card, I would say. But I'm also not the most experienced ace player. I think I never played the deck before, or maybe 1 or 2 times. So I felt like yeah, maybe I'm a bad guy to judge this deck in general. Another Raigo. We're drawing a lot of top end cards and a lot of 2Ks, but yeah, at this point, we could have played the Shirahoshi, the other one, in the round before, drawing 3 cards, thrashing 2, and now use the Katakuri to put the 5-cost Shirahoshi back in life, which probably would have been a better play, I would guess. And yeah, maybe also putting the ace at the bottom of his life would have been maybe also a better idea. It's kind of cool that the ace, his effect is at the end of the turn, send all face-up cards to the bottom of the deck. But I forgot about the Sanji, so I should have KO'd the Sanji. And then I could have pushed the ace into life, and then the ace, if he didn't have a baby ace, would have been trashed at the end of the turn. Ah, there's the promo Subway here, the 5 cost. So yeah, kinda sad that I forgot about this. But yeah, as I said, this is like the reasons why you should also sometimes play against not meta decks, because otherwise you forget about all of the abilities, effects, and maybe also some tech choices they're playing and combos and everything. And when you're at local, then yeah, you are sometimes just lose because you forget about some small effects or cards, which are usually like explanatory. Yeah, I think this is the word. But yeah, if you're in a game thinking about your own game state, kind of sad that you don't draw any big cards or whatever. Like I don't know, like you're with the swords somewhere else, and yeah, sometimes just straight up forgetting about the opponent cards if you're not experienced playing against them. Okay, 6 into 3, so we get rid of the Sanji, KOing the Luffy so he cannot play out a card. If he puts a big Luffy in life. Okay, he puts the ace there, plays the baby ace, plays out the ace, and now 9 into life. We take it. There's no reason not to take it. We still have 2 blocker on the field anyway. Okay, he attacks with the promo ace. We give him a 2k counter because we don't want to lose. At this point, okay, this was also another play mistake for myself. I should have not given him the 2k counter and take the life, because it was just the first time. Like here, yeah, he just got our second life. Now we had our last life, and we could have taken it and then trash a card anyways. Maybe one Raigo. Yeah, but we stayed up, forgot about this. So kind of sad. So now he used the effect of ace, and he can use his life, use his to shuffle his deck again. Okay, at this point it wasn't actually not that bad that we didn't took the hit, because now we had to trash a life because of soul focus again. But on the other hand, we could have played a ace or a Yamato and gained a life again, so it wouldn't been that bad also. Okay, so our board looks quite big. Actually not bad. He only had the ace out. Kind of sad for him that the ace couldn't attack with rush, because gain the rush, because he is at 3 life and not 2, which is also something you always need to remember. 5 into life. At this point we should have taken it or give him a blocker, because our board is getting kind of clogged. I was hoping that he attacks with ace or with the other ace, but or another card. But yeah, at this point we yeah, blocked our board and also our life a little, so we need to trash a card for the Raigo, which is kind of sad. So if we wanted to play a little more efficient, we should have given him a blocker at least, or use the Raigo. Okay, so I try to also for all of the gameplays I will show you, I try to do more like the starving strategy for the opponent, like not attacking into his life. You can see it here as well. Like I didn't use my high cost characters. Oh, nice play. I used the Flampe to take the life and draw a card, and then I will use the Raigo later. And yeah, now I think it's the point for going a little into life. Like he has some big characters, but probably it will cost him a lot of Don, and we still have, okay, we don't have a lot of counter, but at least we have 1 blocker, so we can counter out of at least one of his attacks if he goes in our big characters, so with the Shirahoshi. Yeah, so we straight up going into his life, he gave us a lot of counter. He actually got a trigger and KO'd our blocker, which is kind of sad, but therefore, yeah, also, yeah, at this point, like it's really sad with our life. Like he, or in general, like Ace managed, or maybe it was our own, or my own bad decisions, but Ace managed to play a lot around our cards with the extra KO for Shirahoshi. Maybe I should have used the Raigo before, but I didn't want it to give him the knowledge about KOing the Ace. Maybe he would have acted different. So I wanted to do it at the end. And then he KOs our Shirahoshi with the trigger, and we gain another life, which we extra played out the Flampe for to get the life, so we don't need to trash a card. Yeah, quite sad, and we didn't have another Flampe. Okay, so he's I would say in a bad position. Only 2 life cards. One's 7 power Ace and his leader. Yeah, not the best situation for him. And we still have a Raigo for KOing something, and Rush Ace, and 3 big characters. So, and how did we get? We played out the other blocker. I was just a little confused, like how we get the Shirahoshi. Yeah, and you already saw it because I pushed the gameplay a little too fast forward. He played out the Ace. He gained a life, so he's back at 3 life, which is a little sad, but he just gives the turn back to us. So yeah, we're just trying to go for life here. We have 4 attacks. If we play the Rush Ace out, then we even have 4 attacks. Yeah, but probably at this point I would just KO the Ace to be safe for the next round. We still have 1 blocker up, so even if he KOs it, we gain another life, play out the Derishi, and then probably, if I'm not forgetting it, yeah, 6 into life. He needs to give us the 2k, and then he probably, yeah, lost for the next turn. Even if he has another Ace, there is no chance that he can get rid of all of our big characters. We just need 1. So he could play 2 blocker, like the 2... oh, he can also give extra 2000 for his leader, which is quite nice. But, and trying to KO something. I was thinking about if I need to block or if I can just let it go, but at this point we still have 2 9-cost characters up, so yeah, it doesn't matter at this point. He gives us or he's not giving us, but he's playing out the blocker. Okay, so we just need to attack 2 times with 9 and then attack, yeah, with 15 into life, and we probably won. I was thinking for a second about playing the Katakuri, but I feel like at this point, no need to waste the 8 Don for pushing the blocker into his life. So I don't know about his hand, but probably, yeah, not too many 2Ks. Yeah, it was just 1 2K more. So yeah, he lost anyways. This was kind of like a nice warm-up game. Also, it gave me some idea on how easy it is to even lose a game, which I feel really safe in it. Like, yeah, when I played the game, I had a lot of big characters. I had some good cards. Of course, the start was a little difficult, but usually I feel like the start with Enel is most of the time not the craziest. So, and also our opponent didn't establish a big board at any point, or something that we cannot get rid of. But it was sometimes, yeah, he managed to put a lot of pressure on us because yeah, I did some mistakes here and there, and he was just a little lucky about some triggers also. So we will go into the next gameplay, and as you can see, it's quite fast because here we are kind of lucky. We are going second. He used the Searcher, and we will just play out the Flampe, take both, and then play out another Flampe to take another time both. and now he just surrendered. So at this point, yeah, let's have a look. Why did he surrender so fast? I was kind of confused at this point as well, but also this gives me a good opportunity to show you what is the problem if some leader enables or like disables your strategy. Like usually the Blackbeard player is also a little on the slower end. Like he wants to go for a late game and play his big Blackbeards and overwhelm you later. But what we did here, we were so lucky and got 2 flambees, and he probably would have attacked maybe once or twice or something here and there until we maybe just have 1 life, and then maybe nothing happens until he plays the big ones, or even he had a plan to not even attack us, to starve us out, so we cannot get extra cards. A strategy that we usually do as well, maybe not into Blackbeard, but usually especially for rush characters or rush leader like Belobetti or Dofi, because they use so many resources that we can just starve them. And at this point he didn't use his leader ability, so we freely could use the 2 flambees and drawing extra cards and also get extra characters on field. So of course they are just, I think they are just 1 power characters, but we can just give 4 Don and attack and attack and attack. So of course this is like a heavy Don investment, but for getting several attacks in, it's also sometimes quite a nice idea to use also small characters, especially in the more earlier game, I would say. And also we got quite a big advantage for gaining the 2 lives and drawing 2 cards. So technically we just went +1 and +1 again for both of these cards. And I felt like this is probably why the Blackbeard player was a little overwhelmed at this point. Maybe not the best hand, then a little sad about our drawing technique, and he probably already knew that we had a really great start, and that's why he quit at this point. So yeah, I just wanted to show you how fast it can go sometimes, because a lot of people also don't like to play against Enel. Because a lot of Enel players using this starving technique. So here we have another off-meta leader, the Dragon. He can give 2 Don from in character to another, which is quite strong for oh, a little too fast, yeah. Which is quite strong for yeah, some strong cards like Dragon, like the character itself. So our hand is definitely nicer for the early game here, but we didn't draw any big character, which is, I would say it's like a middle thing. Like usually we'll draw it later, so I think it's fine at this point. Okay, we will take the life, get a blocker. He's attacking again with a Rush Zorro, so he tries to put a lot of pressure on the board. Like the Dragon, yeah, it's like a pure red player. A lot of rush characters going straight into life. He is more like an early or maybe a mid-game player, but usually I think like more like an early. And here we also will use the staff strategy, so we will not go into his life. We will just play slow. There were some big cards, kind of sad, that we had to push or put down the Katakuri, quite a nice card against Dragon. So we have a lot of 2k counter. A Karasu, really strong card. So he can go now 6 into 4, we need to take it. Nice, another 0 cost event, and now 6 again. We will take it again. We weathered trash, maybe trashing a 2k counter. Because we have so many. Better than the Lucy, because Lucy is the only card we have at this point, which is a little stronger than, yeah, just like 5000 power. The ability will not help us so much in this gameplay. It's more for taking our own life, and at this point we don't want to take our own life. Karina is also an interesting blocker decision, because she's from the film crew, and there are not so many film cards at this point, I guess. We're trashing the Derishi because we are hoping for a I don't know why he didn't attack with the Karasu at this point at first. Was probably a wrong decision. Probably trashing a 2k again. We have so many 2ks, it's kind of crazy. And yeah, at this point we need to counter out. We should have counter out before, but I was hoping that he will play out a character. Yeah, so we lost a lot of cards out of his hand. We could have played this way better. Just give him 2 cards for the Karasu. Yeah, at this point I thought about taking our own life, but it makes no sense. Like, we don't have any big character. So, like a Yamato or Ace, which gives us our life back. So kinda sad at this point. And now we need to think about what should we do. Probably playing out the Shirahoshi. We KO the... Oh no, we not KO the... He will counter out the 0 cost to win, crazy. Just for Zoro, so now 5 and 2. And he gives us his last card from hand. Quite nice, so his hand is kinda empty. And he only gets the 5k Zoro. 12 into 7. We will use the blocker because we will need our Lucy for sure to KO the Zoro. Nice, and there's the Yamato, so we can KO the Zoro. And at this point we could have used the Lucy at this point when we gained another another life. But I felt at this point like he will KO it or like attack next turn anyway. So now we will use the staff strategy, establish a big board, and then use big attacks to KO him or beat him down. We're using the Nami trigger, quite nice, KOing a Zoro. So we don't need to attack into him. Drawing a card, sadly it's only Nami. Get another Nami from draw. But we will play both for establishing more pressure. So maybe next turn we can start to go into his life. Maybe we can get a 10 cost Ace or something. Or Yamato. Yeah, there's the 10 cost Ace, nice. So we can go a lot of 5s into his life. And then play out the Ace. Then 7 and 9, so yeah, I wanted to go first with the Enel because it's the first character, or like the only, or like kind of like the leader which cannot be KO'd. So I was thinking, should I really go into his life? Is it already the right time to go and destroy our staff strategy? So I thought at this point maybe stop here, but maybe I should have went with all of my cards into his life. But I was a little scared on a clapback. If he plays a dragon, gives 2 Don to the Luffy, and then with his leader ability another 2 Don to Luffy, and then he can KO 3 cards. So yeah, he played out a big monkey D Luffy. We cannot block this. And we actually don't want to use a blocker for this attack because, yeah, the ability is quite strong for going into a blocker. So, yeah, he can only KO our Namis. But we will save them for having additional attacks into him. I could have attacked with 7 first, but I thought at this point, maybe he takes a 5, so why not trying it? We can go 7 with Lucy anyways. Okay, he counters out. Quite interesting. So now we can get the perfect curve, 7, 9, and then everything else with Ace. So we won this game also. Was not that difficult, I felt like, but we also had a little better draws at this point. Also we had a lot of counter power, so especially against pushy characters. Of course I would have wished to have a Katakuri at the 8 on turn, at the 9 or at 10 then using the Yamato. But I felt at this point, yeah, a lot of counter cards was definitely nice to have against a red character. And also the staff, yeah, the strategy we had, the staff strategy, worked quite well. He didn't got his characters, he couldn't put on pressure at a certain point. So quite nice for us. So the next game is against Purple Black Luffy. And yeah, we start with the Shiba Hoshi blocker, probably the second best starter card, next to Flampe. Drawing a Raigo is nice for future Morias, or maybe even Kaido. So now we can see the Kuzan. I used to play it out for always turn order, like the order, tech order. I don't even know how to call this, like the play order maybe? I don't know. So push the Black Maria back into his life. I put it on top because I felt like if he wants to play for 3-down again, he can. It's a 2k counter, which is nice for him, but better having this than like Moria, for example, or some cards I don't want to see for him, or I don't like to see on his board. He plays out another Maria, so kind of sad. Where's our second Kuzan? At this point we probably could have played also more Kuzan. Okay, counter out. Maybe we should have taken the life, but I thought at this point it's maybe better to yeah, not give him as many lives, but of course this is like personal preference, and I felt at this point, maybe now later, I should have given him the life. Especially for Enel, you wanna usually lose the life, maybe not too fast, but for 1 or 2 attacks each turn, I think it's fine. Especially in the early game. But I always feel bad about 5 power attacks into life. So sometimes I like to give a 1k counter. Here now we need to play out the Frankie because we don't have any other option at this point. I didn't want to play the Nami. Of course I could have, but then I couldn't have drawn a card. He's definitely playing an interesting build with the Animal Kingdom. And he's KOing our Kuzan. We give him the blocker, why not? It's definitely nice to put some pressure on his board with going straight into his life with some spiky 5-cost attacks. Yeah, just give him straight 3-5 power attacks. Let's see if he takes it. He's definitely not giving us a Gum Gum Giant for this. This would be probably too much, but let's see. Like maybe we can get some card out of his hand. Yeah, there's a OT, nice. Playing out in... Oh, he used the trigger, okay. I thought at first that would be a card to play out. Okay, and another 5. Push the 6-cost ulti back in life, so he lost technically a 6-cost card or 6-don. Okay, he plays the Sanji, KOs our Frankie. He definitely needs to get rid of some of our cards for not pushing him so much. Yeah, the Kuzan, the Frankie, the Katakurin, and also with our leader we could have attacked a lot, and also playing the Enel, and I don't know, he maybe should have played the Queen, also maybe a little for filtering his cards in hand. But yeah, at this point probably he didn't felt so strong. He didn't have really good cards, no Moria. I don't know why he trashed the Moria in the early game. Maybe he thought he would get another one, but I feel always kind of sad if I need to trash a Moria, because you cannot search this most of the time, so yeah, if you give it away you will probably never see it again. So I'm always scared of ditching a Moria. But yeah, at this point like Luffy was in a bad position, like no strong high cost cards in hand, nothing to really get rid of our cards. The Sanji was quite nice to KO one of our cards. He definitely could have KO'd our Kuzan as well. I probably wouldn't have defended, but we stay at 3 life, and yeah, now in the next turn we would have started to play out the aces. So yeah, we didn't use really the starving strategy against him, but I felt he was quite weak. He had a different playstyle. Maybe he tried out a new build, which is quite nice, but was definitely not the strongest against us, so we definitely could have put some pressure on it. I like the pressure play sometimes a little more for Enel. Yeah, so another gameplay, and this time we will play against Black Purple Luffy, the winner from the American Nationals, which is quite interesting that he won. I wouldn't have imagined that Black Purple Luffy wins. I thought like he lost a little on power lately. So this is kind of funny game because both of us don't want to go into the or give the opponents his life cards. So we need to take our life by our own. I mean, for us it's fine. Like we don't need to lose our life, but Luffy definitely needs to. So he plays out the Kuzan, quite nice. He can draw a card. We got the Frankie trigger, which is also nice for us. Maybe we could have kept it, but I thought at this point why not trying to get something different, because yeah, we definitely don't have the best card hand. This is also something, or like a little problem about the stack, that we don't really have like strong early game cards. Like 8 cost Katakuri is the earliest and strongest card for us. This yeah, so I think this is also like a positive point about the new Kuzan, because he's actually a nice card for early game. Trash a card from the opponent and push a card back into life. But I feel at this point Katakuri would have been quite nice. Because also the Kuzans are quite scary at this point. So he plays out the Luffy, quite nice for taking his own life card. Because we would definitely not attack into his life. And there's the Kuzan, nice. So we can push one of his babies back into his life. There's the Sabo. I put it at the bottom. I hope he is not giving us a Moria. Or he's not getting a Moria so early. He needed to trash one from his life, which is quite nice. Always like to see this. Yeah, so he pushed. Oh, I thought oh, another Moria he trashed from life. Oh, this hurts a lot. Like 2 Morias already gone. I thought he will maybe use a card to push Luffy into his life and then use his baby Luffy to play it out. This would be probably a good idea, like maybe playing out something like a Makino. Even if most decks don't play Makino, it's still quite a... or maybe just as a 1 or 2 off. I like the card a lot, so it's still a strong card. Okay, he uses the Luffy, KOing one of our 4-cost cards maybe? No? What did he do? Did he forget to use it? I'm kind of confused. Ah, because of his life he cannot use it, right? Wait a second. What is the text? I'm not opening it up. Set. Let me search for a second. Okay, he plays out the Zabu, quite nice. So we cannot KO anything with the Yamato. We don't even have a Yamato, but the Nami trigger would have been nice. Okay, what is Luffy saying? Yeah, if you have 2 or less lives. So yeah, he just missed the 5-cost Vegapunk Luffy. So we push another Luffy into his life. We definitely not let him go straight up to 0 lives. And he needs to trash a card. Of course he will trash one of his big Sabo, Luffy and aces. If he even plays aces, but yeah. At this point he can establish also quite a nice board. Now he goes a little faster with his Flampe into his life. Playing another Luffy. Now KOing one of our Kuzan. This time he did it right. Playing out the Garb as a searcher. 5 into life. Yeah, we take it. The Raigo would have been nice more earlier. At this point it will not help us a lot. Yeah, I will counter out because I thought he will probably attack 2 times with... I actually didn't thought he would attack with the Sabo. I thought he would probably attack with Luffy and his leader. So we trash a Raigo because usually if we don't see the big Kuzan, he probably is also not playing it. 7 into 5. We will just give him, I think, an ace, maybe? No, we will trash one of our 2k counter. And now give him the blocker. Okay. So now we can start to play out our big character. And get some of his board cards. I was a little scared about the Kuzan because if he uses 2 Kuzan, then he can definitely KO our ace. So we definitely, yeah, need to get rid of 1 Kuzan. Or at least it would be nice. Let's see if he can even finish his life next turn. But he can trash 1 card with Luffy and draw 1. So I was thinking for a second about Luffy. So then would have been way harder for him to get to 0 life. Maybe also the better idea. But yeah, it's like a difficult situation. We sadly didn't have an 8 cost character before. So we don't really have board pressure. Like his board is stronger than ours at this point. So we need to get rid of the cards which can get rid of our cards. So there's the Yuri, he takes it, then playing out the Luffy ability for trashing the Sabo for Moria potentially, trashing a card and use the leader ability. Yeah, and there's the Luffy. So yeah, at this point he also has the he has the babies. Playing out Luffy, playing out Sabo, using the Luffy to KO our Kuzan. So we are kinda lucky that he couldn't use the second Kuzan to give -4 to our ace. So I was thinking about the turn order, like he can attack 4 times and we only have 3 life. Quite nice that we get the Shirahoshi here. Trash 1 Shirahoshi because we definitely not need it. And to okay, we need our aces, we need some big characters. We need to put some pressure on. We are at, yeah, probably at the worst situation at the moment. We cannot KO our Zabos even if we want to. Need to counter out some of the attacks, and yeah, now he tries to go into our ace, we cannot give him that. So we are quite low on hand size. So we definitely need to play out the second ace for gaining a life, otherwise he will KO us next round. Or like kill us, definitely. So at this point we can try to get rid of his Luffy with plus 2000 power, because it's probably the biggest attack. Besides his leader, of course, we will not push for life at this point, he still have a blocker open. So we will KO one of the Sabo. Because I was a little scared that he can counter out too easy out of our attack from Luffy, and we definitely need to get rid of his board. So 10 into 8 again. Maybe he gives us the blocker, yeah. So now we can KO the Kuzan also. Okay, he gives us cards for it. Another attack. Okay, he gives in another 2k. So there were definitely enough cards to counter out of the Luffy if he wanted to. And there is the first Moria, or like the third one, because 2 already in trash. So he can only have 1 more in his life. He's playing out 2 Sabo, put them both into life. Trashes another 2 cards, so his hand cards usually 2 counter now, or maybe a Moria and a counter, I don't know. So at this point I was thinking, should I give him the "you are the one who should disappear"? Because like all of his next attacks cannot be counter out with "you are the one who should disappear". But also on the other hand, and another trigger, nice. The Shirahoshi trigger is really, really nice. Sad that we cannot use the Yamato. The Lucy is probably also too much, like we can give both of them away. Maybe I give also the Derishi, doesn't matter, because we need to play out the ace anyways for an additional life at this point. So now he needs to attack again, and at this point he just rage quit. I don't know why. Like, as you can see, like, I waited for such a long time. I even asked in the chat like what happened, like a question mark, but yeah, he just rage quit at this point. He probably thought he can finish us here, because now he can maybe, like, how much does he have? 9, 11? No, we can counter out of his 11 attack, and this one is not strong enough to KO our aces. So we can probably finish him this turn, like our next turn. But and also if you don't have any Moria in his hand, then also his next turn will be kind of problematic, because he then can only attack for sure with these 3. But anyways, like, yeah, he lost at this point. Was quite an interesting play. I was a little sad that I didn't press on concede. I didn't want to give him the win. I thought like it's kind of unfair that he just went offline at this point, or just left it open and didn't do anything. So I just pressed back to main and just went away, because yeah, at this point I didn't thought about that I can only see the cards when I can press the concede. Kind of sad at this point. But quite an interesting play. We both made some small mistakes, but in general we have the same gameplay idea, so kind of funny. And also a little same mechanics when playing overwhelm the opponent at the end of the game. Yeah, so kind of sad when something like this happens. Okay, now against Shanks, also a meta contender at this point. Nice, we get the Flampe, so we can take 2 cards and the Shirahoshi blocker for next turn, quite nice. The Kuzan could have been also a nice card, but I don't know if Shanks is playing 1, 2 or 3 cost characters, so maybe the Shirahoshi is the better card for next turn. And then we can also go 7 into life. He goes straight 5 into life. We will just take it. And I think at this point, yeah, I will not use it. We need the counter for sure. We still have 2 big cards. Katakuri would be nice later. He KOs our Flampe with Nico Robin. Okay, it's fine. Like, we would have not used it anyways. 6 into life. We take the Derashi, also cool. So a lot of counter cards, trigger cards here. Yeah, I would think the beige is better. So Raigo and beige for big character like Shanks later, or maybe a Newgate or something, or a Dragon. And more 2k counters, always nice. So he presses or gives the turn back to us. And we can use the staff strategy here as well. Shanks used to play a lot of characters also. So we can play out the Kuzan, push the Robin into his life. So I was not sure if I should go straight for his life or maybe do the staff strategy. But I decided the staff strategy is probably against Shanks more efficient, and also a little bit like what I wanted to show you today, like the staff strategy and the new deck list. Because before I was a little more pushy with Ace, which is interesting. Okay, he KOs with Bang Backman, goes into our life. We can probably give the Lucy away, it's not needed now anymore. Lucy is more stronger card if the opponent not goes into your life. Maybe like Blackbeard would do. Also an activate main, which is quite nice. There's the Katakuri, we can push the Ben Beckman. into life. We put it on top. I would have loved to put it under the Nico Robin, because I think Ben Batman is definitely stronger than Nico Robin. But on top is also fine. Like, maybe he can KO later in Nami or something. Or blocker, but probably a lot of people don't like to KO the blocker, because yeah, it will give us an extra life, which is more potential for trigger. There's the Yasop, which is nice for him. Additional 1k for the leader. Goes 9 into life. I don't know why he attacks here. Like, he probably just should have waited. But maybe there was no better idea. We could have pushed the Yasop also in life, but I thought like the Yamato and gaining in life is at this point better. And this is also like a big plus point of the starving strategy, that the Yamato gets more value. I feel like in a more aggressive style the Ace is better. Just technically because it's a bigger character, but the KOing of Yamato is quite nice. At this point I maybe should have not KO'd the Ben Beckman. Went into life to give him the Ben Beckman. But I thought like his life got a little big, so I could have taken one character maybe down. And here I should just takes it, yeah. I should have taken it. For using the Raigo next turn for the Shanks. There's our 10 cost ace, nice to have one at least as an option. We want to see at least one of each of the big ones, like Katakuri, Yamato and Ace. Of course, if you already know that you don't need it against this character or a leader, then maybe, but otherwise it's always nice to have the option. Yeah. I was thinking of giving him the Nico Robin as well, the tech into life. Because I know he has a Ben Beckman, so he can KO something for sure. So maybe this is also, could be also a strategy, playing the Ben Beckman, KO or Shirahoshi gives us another life. And then the turn after, playing out Shanks again, so it hurts more to lose our, to use our Raigo. Also Ben Beckman trashes. I forgot about that. So we will not go, not get a life from Shirahoshi, which is quite sad. I did thought about this. So now back to life. He lost another 7 done just for playing him out, and then we give it back to him because we don't play small characters at this point anymore probably. There's another Shanks. So we can counter out for sure. And there's another Raigo. So yeah, why not just KOing the Shanks. And push the turn back to him. So yeah, this is kind of like a boring play, I would say, for some people. It's maybe not the most nicest for the opponent, because now his characters just get removed and I will overwhelm him, and in yeah, maybe 2 or 3 rounds our board will be completely full. And yeah, we can just overwhelm him then. So at this point I can push another one into life. Yeah, and he surrenders at this point and he just left. Yeah, yeah, I don't know how to say, like it's not the nicest way of playing. A lot of people don't like it, especially then if you have triggers, then they get really mad. But it feels like it's like a good strategy at some point. Like, as you can see, we have a lot of big characters now. 8 cost, 9 cost, maybe next turn even the 10 cost, and then we can just go straight 5 times into his life. He will lose, except for 1 or 2, maybe all of his lives. He only have 2 guard points which he can use. So maybe he can counter out of 1 or 2, but otherwise he will lose his whole life. And then maybe he can kill 1 or even 2, and then we can attack with 4 attacks again into his life and he loses. So this is kind of like the game strategy of more like a starving Enel, or more late game Enel. So I don't know, like either you like it or you don't like it. As I said, I prefer usually more to go a little more pushy into him, like attacking sometimes with the leader as well, or attack beforehand with an ace when you have the chance or something. But it could be also a good strategy to starve him out, especially if you're playing more of the Katakuri push. Like it's so devastating pushing a 7 cost or 8 cost back into life. He lost all of the 8 don he spent for it at this turn. His board is maybe completely empty, or her board. And you have established the 8 cost character. And you will do this again with Yamato. And Yamato KOs then maybe a 6 or 7 cost character. And this goes on until you are at maybe 4 characters, and then you play out the ace, and then yeah, bum, 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 maybe another Katakuri bum and another Yamato, and then also the leader. And your opponent has maybe 1 or 0 lives. His hand is completely empty because he could try to counter out of one of the attack, or maybe he gets even 2 attacks to get counter out. And yeah, then game is over in the next turn, feels like. Anyways, so what can I say about the 3 new additions? Deroshi was kind of cool. I didn't rift at once. Maybe this decklist is kind of nice for Deroshi, but I feel like in general would have been maybe cool if I played something with a trigger instead of the Lucy. Also, as I said, it's kind of sad that the Kuzan don't have any trigger. You could maybe bump up Kuzan to 1 more, but I feel like Kuzan is really dependent on the opponent, and that's what I wanted to say in the comments on the last video as well. Kuzan is really a nice card, but it depends really heavily on the opponent. Like a lot of opponents also don't play 1, 2, or 3 cost characters. Shanks, for example, is like really rare to play one of these characters. For Dofi is maybe nice, but also like there's no benefit of pushing the card into his life. Like he gets another card into his life. Maybe he cannot bounce it then back with Law. Could be a good idea, but I'm not sure if I need to spend 4 don and establishing a 5 cost character for this. Yeah, it depends a little. I feel like for green it could be kind of strong. Also, maybe for Nico Robin or something, which plays some low cost characters, or maybe also for Zoro or something. This could be quite a strong card. Maybe also Bellubetti. I think this is also a strong card, especially if you want to starve her. But otherwise, I'm not so sure about bumping him up to even 3 or even 4. The same as Deroshi. I like the card, it's cool to get some of the trigger card, but as you saw, our main game plan is to work with the bigger characters, and they don't have a trigger. So usually you can use this in the early game. It's quite a nice addition, getting some counters, maybe getting some, no, these 2 also don't have a trigger. Yeah, okay. It's like only for getting 2Ks. So you can use this card for getting 2Ks and 3 don, of course. Yeah, so I'm not sure. I thought actually this card is more beneficial in Enel than Kuzan, but now while I think more about it, I feel like we have more benefits from the Kuzan than from the Deroshi. But yeah, depends a little on your game style, play style, and also on your deck list. If you play maybe the 5 cost Luffy, like the yellow Luffy plays, instead maybe of the Lucy, maybe then you are getting also another 5 cost character from Deroshi, or at least an option. And Nami is also quite a nice card for getting or searching through the Deroshi. So there are some options. But I heard a lot of people riffing with this card, so yeah, it can be quite sad if you play use 3 don and a card for just getting maybe a beige or something, or Frankie. This would be kind of sad. But anyways, I enjoyed the deck list. I feel like it's a little more bricky. We still have the same amount of big characters, but we don't have so many small characters for actually use. Like as I said, the Lucy came up really rarely for actually being a character that you use from the ability. So I'm not sure if I would like to play him again in the future. And yeah, as I said, the early game is a little bumpy, but otherwise I enjoy the leader quite a lot. It's really a strong and cool leader. And maybe with the new NL card in the future from EVO2, it gets even stronger, but then you definitely have to think about if you can cut out some of the bigger characters, because there's only one, you are the one who should disappear. If they print out a second one, then definitely an option to play. Also, and playing then the other big NL, but otherwise four cards, or as a playset 4 cards as a playset as big characters without counter is probably too bricky for this deck. And you can even use them for leader ability, which is nice, but I think still it would be too many, probably, I don't know. Anyways, this is everything for today. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you had some fun, you learned a little about a new deck list, and see you in the next video. Bye.